Hey guys, so we're back with the Verkerk Volvo. Been a little stressed, but just found time now, so I'll come back and get some fifth wheel done. So there's going to be a couple of little tabs to be glued into the bottom of the fifth wheel, and some pins to put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and mech up this fifth wheel now. Feeling like I'm in a rush. But yeah, I'm going to just quickly pop that together, and then I'm going to do that step, and then I'll show you what I've done with that. And then it's all them tiny little screws for borers to put in to actually put the fifth wheel onto there. So I'll probably put that on as well off camera, and then show you where I'm at each little bit, just to keep me moving. So there you can see I've glued these little things in here and popped the pins in the side. I'll just take a note of which way around they are. It does explain in the manual which way they go, but there's like a lip that comes on the back of that goes to the rear, or would be but yeah, pretty straightforward. As long as you got those the right way around and the pins are to the outside. So next up is going to be with this XV143 screw. There's only one of them in a packet, and the fifth wheel latch. And if you look closely into this fifth wheel latch, they've actually stamped Verkerk Modelbouw in there, which is kind of cool. I just like how small and detailed it is on such a part like that, to be honest with you. It's just nice little touch, their little signature I guess on the whole truck. But yeah, for this part now, just let me look at that manual to work out which way we're going round with this. So if I put this as it is in the manual, it's showing it like that, and put that away. Right, and that. Assume then this is going to screw into there from there. Yeah, there is only one way that can go. Doesn't feel very right. Would feel more right if this like actually went over that lip. Let me take that apart and have a look. Alright, so what I've done here, because this was just like sitting on the top of there, and you're only getting minimal thread off the end of that to actually like thread its way into there. So I've just took a file, and this hole here I've just filed it out slightly, so that actually sits then over the top of that, so now it's like more flush in there. You see it's even springing itself back off this piece of plastic now. So I'm going to screw that into there now, like so, and now we'll get the full thread in there, holding that in place. Yeah, if you're having a little bit of problems sitting that flush, just grind that hole out a smidgen there. Okay, moving on. So next up are these. It's in the manual, and on the parts tree it's FW3 There's 2 of those, and there is no right or wrong way about putting these on, as long as they just go with those to the outside, the little pips. But you can't get it wrong because the pin will only fit through that hole anyway. So they're just going to slot on at either side there. And then I'm presuming these will get fitted onto the actual fifth wheel plate, if you will. The holder to hold the fifth wheel on where it slides up and down. Now I don't know if this is an actual sliding fifth wheel, or if it is adjustable, or whether it's just for show, but we'll find out when we get to that point. And in all honesty, with these being glued on, I can't see me ever running a trailer on the back of this for it just pulling straight off. And I'm not a shelf clean kind of guy, and I personally can't really see myself using this truck ever, but it is fun to build. So on the bottom of those 2 plates that we just put on to the pins, there's like little pips on the bottom, and there is grooves marked out on the top of the plate where those little pips sit into. Now what we have to do, because the pins are there, it's the only way that we're going to be able to do this, is get the screws through the holes under here to bolt them up from the back. So the only other way I can think of doing this is to lift this off the plate and then slide all the screws like so in place as to where they're going to want to be. And then just hope that they all just drop in as we place it down. Oh, there's one fell out already. Right. So the easiest way I've found to do this is bolt one of them on first, and you can slide that in and then mess about just trying to get the other side in, because if you try and just putting it on, or whichever way you friggin' do it, the whole thing just keeps coming apart. So we'll go with this way, slide that into place, and then some tweezers just to try and drop them screws through there to nut them up. Like I say, the thing just keeps coming apart, they slide off the pins, the screws fall out of there. So that's the easiest way that I've found it at the minute. So I'm just going to leave that for now, and I'm going to have a brew because I am getting stressed. Even the Teleria 124 kits, I know they're fiddly builds, but with this being scaled up, you have all that extra detailing and all that. It is something else. Don't get me wrong, this is an awesome kit to be building, but Jesus Christ, does it not like stress you out at times. It's just how tiny a lot of the stuff are. And then just try and get the bolts in there. That is definitely the easiest way of doing it. Save yourselves the stress, guys. Save yourselves the stress. So that's 3 of the 4 screws in. And that way was much easier. No stress, no nothing. And all I'm going to do now is just get a pair of tweezers just to drop that last screw in there. And then I can tighten that up with the nut. And then that is that part of the fifth wheel done. Right, I managed to get that in there with a pair of needle nose pliers in the end. It was fiddly because trying to get the pliers and the nut and everything and try and see where it's going. But yeah, I'd personally say tweezers would be better for that one, but we got there. So nut and bolt this up now, wherever the nut's gone. So we've got the fifth wheel now fitted onto this plate here. Here it's not showing for it to be actually screwed down onto there yet, but other than just be like sat there, if you will. So the next point is this bit here, where I presume that will get bolted to that, and also the actual frame that it's sat on as well, the slider, that will be fitted to the chassis. As you can see, there's quite a lot of nuts and bolts for this bit. So there is the fifth wheel. So we'll learn more on how this works, I guess, in a moment. So I'm just going to go now and screw all them screws up, the bolts, and get it fitted onto the back of the chassis. Right, so I've just got the nuts and bolts out and stuff for this part. There is 4 longer ones to use, as it shows here, which are these, and those, let's get the fifth wheel. You can see in the side there is some holes already in there. I'm just going to screw with some longer screws, those ones that I've just shown you, through the slider and actually through the chassis as well. So that will be fixed into place on the slider so it doesn't slide, but depending on where all the nuts and bolts like fall, there'd be nothing to stop you adjusting it. It would be fiddly having to undo 4 tiny nuts and bolts to bolt them back in where you needed it to be, because these 2 holes seem to be pretty symmetrical right across the plate, but I could be wrong. Right, so that's the fifth wheel on. Yeah, it was fiddly, but we got there. Didn't seem to sit properly at first. It seemed to be like have to force the screws in on one side once you'd got one side set in, but it's on there, it's secure. Now moving to the next part, part 31, which is just literally this cover, which just sits on there, and that is it. Now someone told me in a comment that on the real one this is where the battery goes for the real truck. Now I wasn't sure whether this were going to be like for maybe a light kit or something. It's just there's little holes grooved out in the side, so maybe it might be somewhere to put like wire in or to feed lights out for a light kit, because Verkerk have brought out a light kit for this. So other than that I don't really know, but that basically just sits onto there. Now it doesn't clip or anything, it just seems to rest there. It seems like it's something you might lose very easily, but then it doesn't show to glue that in there either. So anyway, we'll just go with the manual for now, and we'll come across this at a later date, no doubt, or something to do with it. But if that is going to be nothing in regards to the kit, I'll just glue that on there, just a little dab of glue, not glue the whole thing, but just so it's held in place, and I know that's not going walkabouts and getting lost. But that is the fifth wheel on there on the chassis. Very stressful, very fiddly, and the weight of this chassis now is quite a lot of weight in there. So anyway, that's that one for that part of the Verkerk Volvo build, and next time we'll look at these little tanks that go on the side of the truck and some more tanks. Yep, that was right, tanks. And for now, with that one, that is all. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ciao for now, guys.